Hello everybody! Today we're going to be doing the small sunset design that's available on Poppyseed Creative. The hoop itself is about 10 centimeters wide. It looks like a small project, and it is because it's just all satin stitch, but it's still going to take us a little bit of time to do. Now because it is the same stitch for the whole piece, I've gone ahead and filled in most of it. I'm just going to show you what I do and some tips to fill it out. So as usual, you're going to want to cut about 30 centimeters of the floss that's provided. For this piece especially, and pieces where it's a lot of satin stitch, you are going to be rethreading your needle quite a bit. However, anything more than 30 centimeters and it can be a bit hard to manage. So starting off, and we're threading the needle, leaving a little bit of length at the end. Now this is how I started the top as well. So you can start with any of these sections, however I do recommend starting from the top and working your way down. So how I've done this piece is starting from, that's what the back looks like, is putting the needle parallel with the wood and pushing through there. If it's parallel, you know you're going to get the same circumference all the way around. See that little gap there? That's what you want, a nice even gap all the way around. So coming up from the outside and then going into the middle. That's what we're going to be doing for this whole project. So if you've watched some of my videos before, you know that sometimes I tie a knot in the end and then pull it through. However, for this project, because I know I'm going to be using a lot of string throughout, I'm actually going to leave about 2 inches worth hanging on the side, because I know that the next piece of floss I pull through, I can tie it with that floss. So you've pulled that floss all the way up, and then we're going to go into the sun just next to the hole that we used before. You want to try avoid going in the exact same hole, otherwise you'll stretch the fabric and you'll be able to see right through your design. And then you just work it across like that. So that is satin stitch. Satin stitch is where you come up from one end and you're just filling in the area. So again, that's come up. So what I've done for this design is you want to go where that little step is. So you're filling in every section. So you've got to go next to that hole you've done for the sun and pulling it through. That'll help to fill in the whole area. When you're going across as well, you want to make sure that you are keeping your design straight. A way to do this is to actually hold your floss straight and see whereabouts you're going to want to put that hole. Now as you're going, you might get a few little pieces of floss that come up like that. At the end of the project, you can go through and flatten them down. If they're still a little bit bumpy, what you can actually do is unscrew it, iron your project, and put the project back in the hoop. Just make sure the edges are even as well when you put it back in. And then you want to go and fill in the rest of that area. Now, because you are using a lot of string for the whole project, when you reach the very end, you want to make sure you have enough left to create a knot. So you're going to take that little bit of string from the start of your project with that little bit of the end and tie a knot. When you're pulling, just make sure you don't pull too tightly. You can leave that a little bit loose. If you pull too tightly, you'll start to create drags in the fabric. And doing a double knot really helps to keep these in place. And then once you've done your knot, just cut off the ends and thread the needle with the next bit of floss to keep finishing that section. So for this next section, you come up just next to the hole that you've put in on the right, pull through, again leaving about 1 inch or 2 of thread, and then again going in just to the right of that hole we made before and filling in the rest of that area. So you want to use those same methods to fill each of the sections in here. And also while you're doing this project, try and replicate the direction that the string is going in my piece into your own piece. That'll just make sure that the amount of floss I've provided is the exact amount of floss that you'll need to finish your project. So let's assume the whole project is filled in. After you've done that, what you're going to want to do is tie down all of this backing out of the way. I'll put the link in the description for a more detailed version of how I like to do that. This little kit is available on Poppyseed Creative right now. Thank you everybody for watching this tutorial, and happy stitching!